Bengu. The African National Congress successfully convened its first Ordinary National Executive Committee meeting from January 18th to 19th, 2025 at the Birchwood Hotel and Conference Center. This meeting followed the ANC's successful 113th anniversary celebrations and the delivery of the January 8th statement by the President of the ANC, Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa, in Cape Town. These celebrations reaffirmed the ANC's centrality in the lives of the South African people and set a decisive tone for 2025, emphasizing critical priorities to strengthen the organization. The NEC meeting was conducted in an atmosphere of unity and mutual respect and underscored the ANC's commitment to remaining a cohesive and effective instrument for advancing the interests of the people of South Africa. On Ithala Bank, the ANC expresses deep concern over challenges facing Ithala Bank, a critical institution enabling access to banking services for rural communities, stokvels, churches, and small businesses in KwaZulu-Natal. The recent application by the South African Reserve Bank's Prudential Authority to liquidate Ithala due to insolvency threatens over 400 jobs and disrupts financial services for marginalized communities. The ANC reaffirms its commitment to financial inclusion and economic justice as articulated in the 2024 election manifesto. The NEC tasked the Economic Transformation Subcommittee with devising the strategies to safeguard Ithala Bank, protect workers, and ensure service continuity. The ANC further acknowledged the need for a transformative regulatory regime that accounts for historic economic marginalization, calling for accelerated implementation of policies outlined in the 2017 and 2022 national policy conferences to diversify the banking sector and empower public financial institutions. The ANC further calls on government to help expedite the resolution of the VBS matter so that the institution is revitalized and continue to benefit our people. On Back to School campaign, the ANC commended the smooth reopening of schools across the country, aligning with the recently enacted Bella Act, which reflects our focus on advancing access to quality education, as emphasized in the 2024 manifesto. The ANC calls on parents and communities to prioritize education and acknowledge the proactive role of the public representatives in overseeing school readiness. Comprehensive reports from these oversight activities will guide further interventions. On ensuring the right to learn campaign, the ANC welcomes the continued improvement in the matric pass rate, and we congratulate the class of 2024, achieving 87.3% pass rate, the highest in the country's history. We commend the resilience of our learners, educators, SGBs, parents, and stakeholders, including the role of successive ANC-led administrations. In light of South Africa's historic matric pass rate in 2024, the ANC emphasizes its policy commitment to leaving no student behind. The ANC calls on bodies such as NSFAS to expedite funding processes to ensure deserving students gain access to tertiary education. We reiterate our call to the private sector to contribute meaningfully to skills development and education, emphasizing the manifesto's pledge to partner with various stakeholders in building a capable, skilled workforce. On Israel-Hamas ceasefire, the ANC welcomed the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas as a crucial step toward peace in the region, reiterating its long-standing solidarity with Palestine, while acknowledging the significance of this temporary pause. The NEC reaffirmed its support for South Africa's case before the International Court of Justice, seeking accountability for alleged genocide and atrocities during the conflict. This reflects the ANC's consistent stance, grounded in its historic commitment to human rights and international solidarity. The NEC resolution on Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. The NEC welcomed the report of the National Working Committee presented to the NEC by the Secretary General, dealing with the challenges the ANC is facing in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal, particularly in relation to the electoral loss suffered in the two provinces. The report was thorough and analytical. Following the report, the NEC had an extensive discussion, which was rich and reflective, focusing on the task of renewal and rebuilding of the ANC in those two provinces, as well as strengthening leadership. It was agreed that unity of the ANC should be our overriding objective. And to achieve this, we must ensure that the leaders of the ANC at all levels work together, renewing and building organization together. The NEC agreed that the state of organization in all our provinces requires urgent action following the loss of elections. However, the loss the ANC suffered in the two key provinces required immediate action, as the two provinces were not only the most populous, but economic hubs of the country. There were extensive debates on the action that needs to be taken to strengthen the ANC in the two provinces. The NEC agreed that not taking an action was not an option. There were extensive discussions on the issue of the dissolution of the PECs, or how best they can be strengthened. The NEC agreed that the overriding objective is how the ANC can be strengthened and rebuilt in the two provinces. And strengthening the ANC, the NEC agreed that whatever action that will be taken should be based on key principles: fostering the unity of the organization, focusing on rebuilding the structures of the organization, ensuring that the renewal process continues, focusing on political education as well as the foundational course, ensuring that the leaders work together. NEC members assist with the rebuilding of our branches in all provinces, utilizing the capabilities of past leaders both nationally and provincially in the rebuilding process. Reconfiguring the leadership in both provinces in terms of the framework of our constitution. The national officials must bring a proposal on the reconfiguration of leadership of KZN and Gauteng to the NWC within a week period. Whatever action is taken should not interfere with the work of government in the two provinces. On the upcoming Lekgotla, the ANC will hold its national Lekgotla from January 26 to 28, 2025, focusing on the Medium-Term Development Plan, MTDP, of the 7th administration. This forum will review the progress of the 2024 manifesto and strategize on implementing the January 8th tasks outlined by the President of South Africa and the President of the African National Congress. The resolutions from this NEC meeting reaffirm the ANC's dedication to renewal, organizational unity, and the pursuit of its transformative agenda for South Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. At this point, colleagues, I will now turn to yourselves for any questions and for engagement. I've got EWN over there. Oh, that was not Tabiso. Go ahead, my brother.
All right. Mulibo from the Inside Factor. Greetings to AG and to the spokesperson. The first question: the ANC, when the ANC lost the local government elections in 2016, the then Secretary General spoke about collective responsibility. And there's been many sectors of society to say that KZN and other are particularly being targeted. Would you agree with that? Would you disagree with that? But also, if you look at Northern Cape, and I understand you've spoken about how Gauteng and KZN are the economic hubs and where the people are. But the ANC also lost elections in the Northern Cape as well. From what you got in 2019 to what you got in 2024. Will you guys be reconfiguring Northern Cape as well? And then my final question to the SG, you were speaking about the issues in Palestine, just on global affairs. Every time the ANC wants to do something which is pro-black, we see Northern Rose is taking the ANC government to court for a pro-black policy. You see Western-funded NGOs, whenever the ANC takes 5 steps forward, Western NGOs come and want to put the government back. So do you think that Western-funded NGOs who are now calling for us to move away from coal and anything that seeks to radically address South Africa, do you think that Western-funded NGOs are bullying the ANC-led government? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Inside Factor, I'm going to come to my right. There's no hand on my right. I'll come to my left. My sister there at the back, and then followed by Tando, and then I'll come to SABC in front. Let's go. Yes.
Thank you very much, folks. My name is Fikile Mbalula from the Sunday Times. Many people have been struggling to fully interpret what reconfiguration means, with some saying reconfiguration, or questioning rather whether reconfiguration is sort of a euphemism for disbandment, seeing as though the term reconfiguration, we've not seen it in your constitution. Please just clarify that for us. Secondly, what is the current standing of both PECs at this point? We woke up this morning to a poster in KZN flagging how they're going to have a January 8th celebration headlined by the current chairperson, Siboniso Duma. What's the current standing of both PECs? Are they allowed to still embark on their activities, or must they wait for the reconfiguration process to be concluded? And yeah, just an indication of the timelines, but I think you've addressed that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sisanda. Tando.
My name is Tando Maeko from the Business Day. My question is with regards to what the SG said of how the reconfiguration should not affect the work of the government. How does the ANC envision this to not affect the work of the government, considering that in the PCs, most of the leadership in the PCs have dual roles in government and in the party, and also in KZN they hold positions within the legislature?
Thank you. Then proceed. I'll have SABC. Samkel.
Samkel Amasano from the SABC, partially covered by our colleague Sisanda. Mr. Mbalula, the reconfiguration, the ANC Constitution rule in clause 12, subsection 12.2.4, it speaks about suspension of a PEC for a period of 3 months, and it speaks about dissolution. How are you going to reconfigure the leadership of these two provinces? Are you first going to dissolve Then secondly, you as a leadership of the ANC seem to be heavily divided on this issue, with three of your officials, Wele Mandashe, Paul Mashakile, Nobula Mokonyane, arguing against a dissolution of these particular provinces, and yourself arguing for the dissolution alongside other officials of the party. Is this essentially the beginning of the 2027 realignment battles for your conference for 2027? Then lastly, on the dissolution, is this a dissolution or a reconfiguration? Because as my colleagues have said, there is no reconfiguration in your constitution. Is this in simple terms a dissolution of these particular structures? Thank you.
Thank you very much. SG, are you comfortable that we proceed, or we can just have this as the first round? Because I've got a number of other hands. I think we'll have that as the first round.
I don't have time. Take all the hands. Now you can proceed.
Okay. We will do as advised. Can I pass SABC?
Can I answer first?
Oh, you want to answer first?
Yeah, there are many the follow-ups.
All right, thank you.
No, the follow-ups are many. So let me answer first, and then you can take the second round. Thank you very much for the questions. Modiba, Gauteng and KZN, are they targeted? They are definitely not. If you look at Gauteng and KZN, they are the most populous. But over and above that, we have dropped everywhere in the country. But we have lost Gauteng and KZN. So we had to take a deep dive to say, how do we arrest the possibility of a total demise? You can argue that in KZN, use the terminology decimation. We are totally decimated in KwaZulu-Natal to 17%. So you don't fold arms and look at that situation and not do anything about it. So they are not targeted. The question is what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is what we're discussing this past weekend. Difficult as it is, something has to be done to ensure that the ANC respond to that situation in KZN and Gauteng. And you can't club them together in terms of the weaknesses and challenges. As much as you concentrated at the leadership level, but they are not the same. So we need to understand that quite clearly. We are still going to visit other provinces as the working committee. Your question is whether we are going to reconfigure those leaderships. It cannot arise, that particular question, in the other provinces because we have lost, but we are still in charge. Let me give you Mpumalanga. People say that when they threaten each other about whether to dissolve or not, they say no. Mpumalanga, don't participate in this discussion because they are coming for you. Now, the ANC cannot intervene with the same model in Mpumalanga where you are in power. You've got the provincial leadership, you've got government. You are running government in Mpumalanga. All what you've got to do is to fight back and deal with the challenges organizationally that are subjective there, and basically consolidate the organization to fight back and win back Mpumalanga. That possibility is there. So not everything fits the same in the bigger scheme of things. So even in Gauteng and KZN, it's not just doing things for the sake of it. We are responding to what we are seeing on the ground. And exactly what we need to do is to consolidate, rearrange ourselves in those provinces in order to be in a position to fight back and fight for the ANC to win in the two provinces. We are not bullied by Western NGOs. We know their agenda, and we know their agenda and what they basically stand for, and that is why we remain a principled organization around fundamental issues, domestic and international, in terms of us being guided by our own policies. Sunday Times, reconfiguration, what it means is a reconfiguration. It's exactly that. You reconfigure leadership, and then that's what you need to do. The statement I've read here explains exactly reconfiguration of the leadership in both provinces in terms of the framework of our constitution. Now, Samkel and others, you can't reconfigure anyone without being guided by the constitution. So that's what it means. So you are guided by the constitution in reconfiguring the thing. I know the buzzword is dissolution you like, is reinforcement others like, but overall it's a combination of the two, and then choosing the path of uniting our organization in terms of intervention. The discussion in the National Executive Committee was robust. It started with the officials. You are right, we did not all have the same view on the matter. In terms of the officials, we did not have the same view on the matter as the NWC. We went to the NEC, and the NEC is the supreme body. We did not have a dominant view over the other in the NEC. At the end, we came up with what I've explained to you. So anyone who's going to tell you that there was no point of difference will be telling you a lie, including myself. We did differ. We went to the NEC. The NEC debated and agreed. At the level of the NEC, as the officials, we did not speak. I presented the report on behalf of the NWC that analyzed the situation in the provinces. It was undisputable, irrefutable, except one or two people in the NEC. The report I presented to the NEC about the state of organization and how we interpret the situation in the two provinces was unanimously agreed. We presented two options. At the end, we came up with this particular outcome of reconfiguration, guided by the set principles. Within a week, meaning from today up until Sunday, we will meet the officials, give details of reconfiguration, and then thereafter we'll go to the NWC, which will be on Monday, this coming Monday, and thereafter we will deploy NEC members to all the regions in the two provinces to explain and to present a decision on reconfiguration, how the provinces are reconfigured. Now, I wish to say to everybody, including ANC members, they must wait for reconfiguration to be finalized as agreed by the NEC, and then we'll present to the structures of the organization next week. During the week, from Tuesday upwards, we will be on the ground. We'll start first with the PCs and all of that. I will write to them today to inform them also about this decision. As to whether rallies must stop and all of that, we have not applied our mind to that. But a decision now has been taken. So it could be advisable that rallies must wait a bit up until reconfiguration is finalized. but that decision is not yet taken. So it will be advisable that in this week that everything must come to a standstill up until everything else is done. The reason why we chose a week is because we don't want to delay the functioning and the running of the organization in the two provinces. So the matter is closed. It's closed. It's done. In terms of our discussions of the NEC, the NWC is not going to reopen a discussion, it's going to process the implementation and the officials of this decision of the NEC. And then immediately after that, we'll descend to the structures and brief them. And today, as it is Monday, I will brief the structures across the two provinces through a communique about what is the decision and what is their status, and that will come back to them and brief them in terms of this decision. Configuration in relation to government, we are very clear that government will not be tampered with. It will remain the way it is. That is the directive of the National Executive Committee. So we will not tamper with government. We are going to tamper with the ANC leadership. That's what reconfiguration means. Within the framework of the ANC constitution. We have decided not to suspend the constitution, but to use it to build the organization. That's what it's all about. Samkele, this has not been an easy decision, and whoever briefed you, it is not division, it was a difference of opinion. As to who was against who is not correct. It was just a difference of opinion. Yes, we did caution that this discussion, among others, was gravitating to interests and polarized, among others, by the mobilization along the lines of 2027. And the National Executive Committee have said, no, that must stop. And that the mobilization on this particular matter, which is about strengthening and building organization, it was polarized by the fact that others were mobilizing along the lines of what must happen in 2027 in the organization. You will know that we have a position of the organization that 2027 will be discussed at the right time. There will be a perspective that will be developed, and that any other thing at the present moment people can discuss informally and so on. It's not an organizational process. It's mischief. It's a divisive tendency in the organization. And we have been mandated by the NEC that we must act on that. We are acting on many things in terms of the discipline in the organization. As I've briefed you last week in Cape Town, we have already acted on a number of disciplinary cases. You will be briefed as and when they are processed. But we're acting. Everybody who is against the ANC Rule 25 violation will be enforced. And that's what is happening as I'm speaking to you right now. Other people have got their own charges in terms of disciplinary processes. And there will be no retreat on that. Discipline is going to be implemented. It's part and parcel of renewal. You violate the rules of the ANC, its discipline, we will act upon you. And that's what we've been mandated by the National Executive Committee to do. And we expect our provinces and all other structures to equally act on the acts of ill discipline. Even this NEC, as we're debating these matters, the emphasis was that ANC must not postpone ill discipline wherever it manifests itself in the organization. That must be acted upon. So Samkele, it's not division. We did not have the same opinion. For instance, you say that I did not have an opinion that says dissolve people. That opinion was generated out of a process. And I came to you, I briefed you, we briefed the structures. But later on, it was trivialized that it's a Mbalula issue. Now, I understand perfectly why they say so, because I'm Secretary General of the ANC. I'm Secretary General of the ANC, and many things that are not nice will be associated with me. I lose friends along the way. People who were my good friends don't like me anymore because I've done things that they don't like. But it comes with the responsibility. And it comes with the responsibility of which I work within a collective. I'm mandated. Remember, every decision, the president has got the responsibility to appoint cabinet. But the people who are not appointed in cabinet or who have been dropped, it's not the president who tells them that don't come back, it's me. We did not appoint you. And then they say to me, yeah, no, we've been expecting it in my heart, you know. So it's not a nice job to do, to tell people that you are no longer minister. The ANC want to thank you for having availed yourself and all of that. And then I convey. Gwede Mantashe, Thabo Mbeki, NEC takes a decision that is no longer president. Now the person who must go and face Thabo Mbeki, former president, and tell him that you are no longer president is the SG. Face to face, and tell him that, hey, we have taken a decision. Jacob Zuma is no longer president. I don't know, Mahashule, whether he told him or what happened. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there. But I'm telling you that it is the SG who must now go and communicate that particular decision. So when people, there is something they don't like, they say it's the SG. So, because we are the people who prepare reports and the bearer of good and bad news. And most of the time, it's not so good news. I've told you that the issue of 2027 polarized this discussion. And we have reflected on that. It is not a lie, it is true. People were meeting, mobilizing in Cape Town, in dinner parties, and everywhere else, because these ones, they say, if you support this position, you must know that you are in the camp of so and so. If you support this position, you are in the camp of so and so, which is leaders like myself and Paul Mashatile. Now, I've never declared any interest in the presidency of the ANC. I'm still SG, and people already, they say I must jump. I know about that. It's the truth. I know about that. People have come to me, but I'm not power drunk to think in this position I can use it to advance my interest. I cannot do that. I stick with the principle that we don't discuss succession, we'll talk about it at the right time. And at the right time, I'll talk about what I think. Nobody has ever coerced me. I've worked with my generation. I know what I want or what I don't want. I'm not power drunk. When people talk about me, I jump into it. What I will not do is to undermine the cohesion of the ANC. I've said that to comrades individually and so on, that the ANC have said at the right time these matters will be ventilated and we'll discuss them properly. Because this thing of electing leaders hoodwinked popularity not looking at the qualities of the leader, we must not deny the ANC membership from applying its mind on the matter appropriately at the right time and hamstrung it by populism and all of that. Comrades must wait. Even anyone must wait up until the organization opens this matter and is to be discussed. And it was unfortunate that a very important discussion like this one and the fate of these provinces was hijacked by factionalists for factional reasons about the future of the party in terms of what will happen after Ramaphosa. It is really unfortunate. And Samkele, it did happen. And the NEC itself expressed itself on this matter and say it must stop. Now, you don't need leakage, anybody to leak to you. We are now speaking here as the ANC and telling you that this discussion was polarized by such interest. And we have reflected on it and we frown upon it. Reconfiguration is reconfiguration. We say reconfiguration with the Constitution. You can't implement some kind of reconfiguration without the ANC Constitution. So whatever interpretation you give into that, you can give it. But this is what has been agreed upon in the National Executive Committee unanimously at the end, yesterday, as we rise last night from the meeting. We discussed this matter for 2 days. Now we'll get into the next meeting where we will discuss the annual report and all other things. So it was a very, 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 very involved discussion, but very frank and open. I think people who did not speak there, probably is you, Mahleng. I'm joking. People who did not speak there, there are about 2 who were at the meeting. Even our former president did give us counsel, President Mbeki. So it's a very important issue, the question of KZN and Gauteng to us as the ANC. Because these are very important provinces of the movement that we must safeguard, we must defend, and then we must fight to win them back. And then so it has been a very involved discussion, and everybody was given an opportunity to reflect on this discussion. And everybody spoke in that particular meeting. So I'm just saying that those views that were different views, but with the aim of sharing a perspective. Of course, there is a point where you realized that they are hardened views, because it's like a do or die. But there are ANC members who rose to the occasion to show that they are not part of a faction. They are not guided by a grouping. They stand on their own independent idea and in terms of what they believe, what must happen. And those members must be commended because they are not a member's member. And they helped us come to this particular point in that discussion. But in an organization like ours, with bigger challenges that we're facing, those tendencies we want to extricate from the organization, like factionalism and so on, they are hard to die, but they will die over time, because renewal is going to help us overcome those tendencies. That you must understand that you can go to a meeting without seeking an opinion of somebody. And seeking an opinion of somebody sometimes in formal discussion is also acceptable. But it cannot be that in a meeting you don't listen to the analysis. You are just sticking to something, irrespective of the fact that the analysis is correct. But because you are a factionalist, you are made to be a factional person, you can't see beyond your view. Otherwise, in a normal organization, in a meeting, You have to be persuaded in terms of ideas. You can leave your house, but once a report or a political analysis is presented before you, putting on the tools of analysis, you decide that, let me support this idea, I'm persuaded. And you argue your particular point. I'm persuaded. You don't stick to the beliefs of a group that kills organization. And that is what makes us, even in the election, to elect people that we don't want, because we stick to factional ideas. So factionalism as a tendency is detrimental to the survival of the organization. It's detrimental to the independent mind. It's detrimental to an organization that must survive for decades to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. I did see a few. I'm just going to go this way and that way so that we cover everyone. And I see Stephen is in the house. I'll start with you. And your hand was up, my brother. Yes, and then I will come to Power. Go ahead.
Thank you. Stephen Curtis, News from Africa. Can I ask, when you say reconfigure, could some of the leaders, some of the people in the leaderships of these provinces actually remain in the leaderships and just change position? Or even could some of them keep their position? And then just to clarify, Mr. Mbalula, when you say that the National Working Committee will process the proposals of the national officials have the final word, eh? Because the National Working Committee has already discussed it. Is that right? Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much, and SG, my greetings to you. Tunes is my name from whatever I do. SG, whatever that position after all this process will be taken, the fine print of the organization of the ANC, does that allow those PC probably to make an appeal based on the outcome of the process? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Shazi?
Good day, Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. Actually, this issue of reconfiguration, is the ANC not concerned that the two provincial structures will lose their autonomy and identity with this reconfiguration? I'm trying to find out, are you guys going to be playing a big brother role in which you monitor every move in which they make? How long will this reconfiguration last heading into the 2026 local government election? So just on this reconfiguration, who will still be in charge of making decisions at these provincial structures in Yellow?
Thank you very much. I'll now turn to the left. I'll start over here. You go ahead. And then I go to Siamtanda.
Thank you, Mashik. I'm Howard Mahola from USM. SG, you know, it's a little over 8 months since the elections. The ANC has been discussing this in NWC and NEC meeting. How is South Africans supposed to have confidence that this is the party that can run the country effectively when after a disastrous performance, now you are going towards a year to analyze, and then after the 9 months, 8 months, you are still now sending it to another structure in the form of the officials to make a proposal. Does it not point to indecisiveness on the party? I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns had a bad run way after you, and they've already fired the coach, and they are back on their ways. Yeah, and then when you were in Cape Town, I saw a lot of messaging about the situation of black communities there, that you were driving the point that they are being neglected by the DA administration. And then you are in a collision with the DA. Going forward, how do you plan on managing those contradictions? Because in Swan you are saying, well, there's delivery now that the DA is gone. In Western Cape you are saying black people are suffering because of the DA. But nationally you are saying this is a partner that we want to move with going forward. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Lunga?
Oh, thank you very much, SG. My name is Lunga. I'm from America. Mine is not related to this, SG. But what I just want to know, as a person from the Free State, Mangaung, to be a has been that thing that the party, especially the Free State, is talking to Musenentos. And as a leader of coming from the Free State, do you know anything about them, or is the ANC nationally maybe trying to speak to you to maybe consider joining the ANC? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Samtanda?
Thank you so much, Mr. Mhlengisi. I'm Tanga Tama, News 24. I'm going to start with the reconfiguration. Did the NEC at any point discuss the MK factor, the ripple effect of this decision, the possibility of people jumping ship, descent from branches leading to that? Was that discussed? If not, do you not think that's something that might happen, and what's your response to that? And then my final question, could you please respond to the growing or mounting calls for Minister in the Presidency, Kumbuzo Ntshavheni, to resign? It's coming from several parties after reportage this morning that the Hawks have referred the docket to the NPA. What does this do to the ANC's renewal efforts, and also what do you expect her to do now? Do you expect her to present something to the Integrity Commission? Do you expect her to step aside? What does the party expect her to do? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Tando, you did speak earlier. All right, we'll come here. Ntebu?
Okay. Thanks, Matei. My name is Ntebu. I'm with the SABC. Secretary General, the dissolution of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng is to the celebration of the DA, I would say. You recall that at some point the DA wanted to see the dissolution of Gauteng, especially in the form of parliament. And this is not the first time that, for a lack of a better word, the DA has marshaled the ANC forces, where we had at some point the public protector, Fikile Mbalula, the DA having mooted the debate that she should be recalled or she should be removed, and she was removed, and the ANC supported that mooted recall of Fikile Mbalula. And this time around again, it seems the ANC again seems to be pandering to what the DA wanted to see in Gauteng, where you have the dissolution of the PEC in the form of Gauteng. What are you saying to those people who are saying you seem to be allowing yourself to be marshaled by the generals of the opposition in the form of the DA? And secondly, the crisis or the problem, the electoral decline in Gauteng, did you only see it today, where you become reactive to what has happened, as opposed to being proactive and seeing that long before the elections that we're going to dip terribly in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal? That's only today we think that you should then come with some sort of intervention in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. Didn't you see that coming, so that you could intervene at the right time?
You have lost the trail of thought on the third question.
Yes.
I will come back to you if it does come back. I just am looking for colleagues that haven't had a chance. I'm moving towards closure, SG, but I'll take one last question from SABC.
Mr. Mbalula, just one question. Point of clarity. Will the reconfigured leadership be an elected provincial executive committee, or will it be a provincial task team that has 9 months to take the party to conference in that province, as per your constitution, clause 12, subsection 12.2.4? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to you, SG.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mhlengisi, and thank you for the questions. Stephen, can the leadership remain reconfiguration means that we are going to be tampering with that leadership. So that's the mandate that we've got, and that's what is going to happen. So we've got to bring reinforcement into that leadership, and at the same time probably maintain what you have or not. And that's what is, but it's very clear what needs to happen in the framework of the ANC constitution. Process of processing this matter in terms of positions. We'll start first with the officials. The officials will meet, process the matter, and present the proposals to the NWC, and thereafter we go to the ground. Now, there's no longer whether we go or not go. It's clear. The path is clear. UFM, the path is clear in terms of the decision. So there's no prolonged process of what is going to happen, whether we are for this or that. It's clear. We reconfigure, we go to the ground, we announce the reconfiguration to the structures in the next coming week. Tunzi, can the PCs appeal? Appeal what? Because this is an intervention by the higher structure. But because we're litigious, other people can go to court and all of that. But we are implementing the Constitution. And should anyone try to go to court, it means we must act guided by the Constitution. If we don't follow the Constitution, they will go to court and challenge the decision. But the decision taken by the NEC, but the decision will be implemented in the framework of the Constitution. If you don't do that, then they will have grounds in court to challenge your decision. So I can't stand before you and say that they won't go to court. They've been to court, they've been doing that, and then so that is possible. But we have won all our cases in relation to the decisions we have taken in court about the correctness of the application of the ANC Constitution in relation to matters. Now, as custodians of the ANC Constitution, if we don't do things constitutionally, rebels will go to court and win against us easily, just like that. So that will actually happen. Power News. Will PCs have autonomy and all of that? When you intervene, you take powers to run with the PCs. You have authority over them. You can determine what must happen. You can't intervene if you don't have power. So you've got the power in terms of what needs to happen. It means if certain things happen, there's no longer a process in which it's going to be subjected to the will of the PC or not. You understand? So as it is now, the PCs enjoy original powers. In relation to reconfiguration, it means that you are intervening in the situation constitutionally to assist the province and the leadership, meaning what you are doing is turbocharge the leadership in the different provinces to respond to the situations that we are facing, so that we are able to be at a particular level as the African National Congress. That's what we are doing. How long? It will depend on what work needs to be done in terms of these pieces, and it will be clearly defined and spelled out next week when after the NWC meeting. UFM time frame, indecisiveness, sundowns, and all of that. I thought you would make example about Orlando Pirates, but yes, indeed, you can argue about time. Even in our discussions, some of the comrades argued in our discussions about the time frame. But it shows that you apply your mind, that even in that time frame, you look at, we took an attitude, let's work with what we have. And that, what we have, it has been put to test. And then we've gone through the elections with what we have, and then we're still faced with challenges. And at the same time, now you have taken a decisive action to reconfigure and turbocharge the leadership in the different provinces. So what we have does not apply now. You see, it was there before. Because some people believe that, no, this leadership somewhere must be removed and all of that, and some did not believe in that. But now we are scientific, we are guided by the material conditions that this situation, if we don't do anything about it, it will not assist the movement as a whole. Contradictions with the DA, of course. We have explained this point over and over again, that the DA and us is like water and oil. We don't mix. Even within the GNU framework, we are not expected to be the same, because ideologically we are apart with them. So contradictions and different points will arise from time to time, but we have agreed to work together in the GNU for the sake of our country. What does the statement of intent say? It talks about constitutionalism and the rule of law. And that's what brings us together, because we believe in those two things. We don't want anarchy. We believe in the constitution of the country. We want the rule of law. And then a country that is running, that is functional, and then that is guided by the rule of law. Those are the fundamentals in terms of the statement of intent that is guiding us in this government of national unity. Notwithstanding the fact that we are two different parties. So it doesn't mean that the ANC will cease to project and lead the transformation agenda and the National Democratic Revolution, as opposed to the DA agenda that does not believe that South Africa must change for the best interest of the majority of our people in this country. So they will be opposed to labor laws and all of that. We don't agree with them on those things. They've just been opposed to the Bella Act. We don't agree with them. Again, they will be opposed to NHI. We don't agree with them. That's it. If you want things to happen for your party and your constituencies, you must win elections with outright majority and govern on your own. As it stands, the ANC is the largest party in South Africa, in the government of national unity. Lunga Mbuyiseni, are we talking to him? I don't know. It is possible. It's only him and him only who will speak for himself. But I will not be shocked that the ANC can talk to him, and probably because he's a good member of society, and in the realm of politics, he's a good politician, and so why not talk to him? At the end of the day, it's him who can take a decision about his future. So when his party ejecting like that, I mean, just kick somebody like Mbuyiseni out. It means, hey, Julius is powerful. He's overconfident of himself. I mean, Mbuyiseni he's not just a small boy and all of that in politics. It's like in the ANC, if I dismiss Mahlengi, do you think I'm mad? I won't do it. You know that? I'll actually back her to stay if she were to think of jumping the ship. But if you are powerful, you are powerful. And then you think that Khalas Palesi can just be kicked out like that. So there's nothing wrong for ANC members and everyone to talk to Mbuyiseni. At the end is his choice. Because he has formally left the EFF. I don't know whether he has left the EFF. I don't know. But I know in Parliament. But if he leaves his party, why not talk to him? To join the ANC and contribute in the South African body politic of the country. So it's not the kind of guy who left because it looks like he was kicked out. He was shown that he's of no value to his party. So what? At the end of the day, if he decides to be a politician and want to remain in politics and pursue the agenda of transformation, liberation of our people, we in the ANC, we are open to that. He can come. It's a platform for all South Africans to come and participate. And Lunga, I wouldn't say ANC members didn't talk to him or they are engaging and all of that. It is possible. Okay, right. And then Siyamthanda, MK Party factor. Look, you can see most that Zuma Stokvel is imploding every day because he has brought his friends to the Stokvel and then and kick out people who work hard, who work for this party, formed it, believing in him. He kicked them out. That thing is getting exposed that it's a family arrangement every day. And we believe that at the end of the day, the ANC is going to survive and become even stronger. And ANC members will see some of them who left genuinely believing that Zuma ngumntu. They are going to see quickly that, no, we're hoodwinked here. And where will they go? They are going to come back to the African National Congress. So we are really interested in strengthening the ANC. Our interventions are aimed at that. Is Zuma not a factor? He is a factor. We have admitted to you that among the factors that cost us in KZN is this one. Where have we said it is not? I don't know. It is this one. We have said that. Openly, we have admitted that this cost us. And it is in that context that we are responding to this particular factor. But it is important also that that factor extricated itself from us so that people can see it for what it is. Because for as much as he was here, people did not see him for what he is. They thought that he's a good man, Ngubaba. But they see now, there's nothing Ngubaba. Ubaba will dish you like you don't exist. And even those who have even followed him, he will deal with them like that. And worst of all, he drafted a constitution that empowers him and him alone. So he can't give us a lecture about democracy and all of that. So he gave himself powers in order to deal with everyone. Moslapana ugotwa ekseni nje. Uvuka nje udibana neletter ku internet umkile. Whoever is appointed as a secretary has got a serious job to expel people. Angayibone ka Floyd exosha abantu, but I'm sure he's coming. If ayizuxosha yena iletter. But yes. So we have looked at all those factors. There's nothing really about Khumbudzo that we need to respond to at the present moment, except there are reports that Hawks have finalized a report about alleged corruption. It ends there. We respond to something tangible when somebody is arrested. That's when you respond to that. Law enforcement in South Africa must not try people through the media and want to find them guilty. If you've got a case, you know what needs to be done. You arrest a person, and then a person get a bail or not get a bail, goes to court, and then that's it. There's no kangaroo court through the media, where now Kumbuzo must explain herself through the media that is guilty or not guilty. And that the Hawks, somebody from the Hawks is communicating. You know, these people are undermining the integrity of state institutions, the rule of law. The principles of our jurisprudence are being undermined. And we won't agree to that. If anyone has got a case against anyone, why do you leak it to the media and want to try people through the media? It's exactly what happened with Tembi Nkadime about VBS. No Tembi, big article is written about Tembi and all of that. At the end of the day, there's no case. And then quickly, through the media you come, why is it important that these people must not be removed? There's no law that functions like that. That is jungle law. A person must be arrested and they must be held accountable by institutions of the state. NPA or Hawks or anybody. And then you go to court and account. You don't leak a docket. Because once you do that, it means the prospects of winning that case are not there. So what do? You try a person, muddy them through the media. Remember, when you have stolen, you are held accountable, you appear in court, you defend yourself, and you lose. You get convicted, you are a criminal. That's how it happens. Any other process outside that, let's agree, it's jungle law. It doesn't work like that. Today, there is a media report in Chaveni, the Hawks have handed. What does it say? It says nothing, except the fact that a person has been investigated or is investigated for this and that. That undermines the integrity of the state institutions. And the ANC can be marshaled by the DA to take any decision or to be coerced to take any other decision. It cannot be. The loss of support, we have explained to you how we understand it over time, and we have dealt with that particular matter. We didn't see it coming, we saw it coming. That's why we took measures to fight this drop that is coming and all of that. But we did see it coming, but what shocked us is how big it was. Okay? That will drop to 35%. It was a shocker. That will drop to 17%. It was a shocker. But we knew that in KZN and Gauteng, that is why we tried to mitigate that. We kept on telling you, you were with us on the ground when we were campaigning in both KZN and Gauteng, and you said, why are we concentrated in the 3 provinces? We said we see the danger that is coming. Even now, when we intervene, others say, why do you target these 2 provinces? But scientifically and theoretically, they know that these 2 provinces are critical in terms of the ANC. That does not mean that other provinces did not lose. They lost. We dropped. We didn't lose, we dropped. But in Gauteng and KZN, we lost. And we didn't just lose with small numbers. We lost big. Big. Now, any leader, any organization who goes and sleep nicely and have a good time, that let everything remain the way it is, then you are not serious about comeback. Every ANC leader and a member is worried about these 2 provinces. And we can see the loss in other provinces. We have resolved load shedding now. We will recover in those provinces. Will we recover organizationally in KZN and Gauteng? Or will actually deteriorate? What do you do as leadership? You put brakes. and you fight back. And that's what we're doing here. So it is given all sorts of interpretation depending on where people come from and their own personal interest. At the end of the day, it is their personal interest. We must rise above personal interest and focus on building organization. And that's what that's what is important, and that's what the NEC considered. The last point is Samkele. Reconfigured leadership. What did you say?
The reconfigured leadership, in terms of the ANC constitution, is it an elected provincial executive committee or is it an interim provincial trustee that has to take the party to Parliament within 9 months?
The resolution of the NEC says reconfiguration guided by the constitution. So that's what it is. So reconfiguration guided by the constitution. You can't reconfigure anybody not guided by the constitution. So all what is in the constitution supersedes everything first, but it's dialectically intertwined. It's not the other one in the exclusive to the other. They are mutually connected. So you need to understand that. I have seen in the social media groups and these groups from WhatsApps, people trying to give interpretation to this, and already trying to perpetuate the mentality of the victors, who won, who did not won. No, the ANC has won out of this. I've seen them. They are sweating, they are anxious, and all of that about the decision. We will come to the structures next week and give them a reconfigured PCs after the NWC meeting. That's what we will do next week. It's a week's time. Today, I will write to every branch, to every province, inform them about the decision and the fact that they must wait till we come back to them. And when we come back to them on the ground next week, all regions, all branches, they will be briefed and they will be told about how reconfiguration is unfolding, and also in the context of the ANC constitution. Up until then, hold the horses. But the decision is taken, it's done. And we finished yesterday, and that is what I'm explaining to you. What is the decision? So we're all there yesterday, and the president presented the decision to the meeting, and the meeting clapped hands, and everybody left and went home. It was unanimous, nobody opposed it. Bekumnandi nje ekugqibeleni. But it was tough to get to the end. At the end, all of us, we felt we are happy, and then there is no victor. I was so happy yesterday, just like the way I left the Nazareth conference when Ramaphosa was elected. I went there with Nkosazana as my president. I left with Ramaphosa. But I was happy, you know why? Because I was also elected. Unlike Mangaung, I went there to contest Zuma. When I left, I was not an NEC member, I was nothing. I was devastated. So when I left Nazareth, I was okay. Isma Khashule, I saw him falling in front of me. I said, but why are you falling? Because you are elected as SG. He says, yay. This is Ramaphosa, man. I said, no, I addressed comrades. I said, comrades, we came here with Nkosazana. Now we're living with CR. We are CR, all of us. I was happy. So just like yesterday, people came with different positions, we left with one. And this is the position. And that is the ANC we are members of. So people must be disciplined and wait. And I'm very happy about the conduct of ANC members in the two provinces. I didn't see funny things happening, people protesting. It means the comrades understand the period we are in. Under normal circumstances, there would have been funny lorries outside here. There was nothing like that. It means we appreciate the moment we are in Debu, and the fact that for us to serve our people, the vehicle that must advance, it is the African National Congress. And that ANC must be in good condition. For us to recover anywhere else, the ANC must be in good condition. And that's what we're doing here. Leave other interpretations and what other people say, but the ANC must be in good condition. It is the vehicle in the hands of the people of South Africa and in the two provinces. And that's what we're doing. This resolution killed the momentum of factionalism and everything else and focused the ANC on what needs to be done. Happy New Year once more. Compliment. Thank you.
At this time, members of the media, I'd like to thank you for your presence here, and just to indicate that we will be available for follow-up interviews and also for a later